What is going on, everybody? We're going to talk about the new Space Marine chapter tactics they have shown us today on Warhammer Community. This is a very exciting time for new Space Marines coming out, new rules coming out, and extra salt and tears on Facebook from people crying about Space Marines getting love. And this is a terrible trend in the hobby, but we'll just have to ignore those people for the next couple weeks. These new rules look pretty sweet. Hopefully they bring Space Marines back onto the table. I think they're going to be pretty powerful. The only people who might be a little upset, or maybe should be a little upset, are the Chaos Space Marine players, because they have no mention of them getting their chapter tactic on their vehicles. And they just came out before the Space Marines, and GW had the opportunity to update both factions the same way, but they're just doing it for the Space Marines as far as we can tell. The new chapter tactics are awesome. A lot of these people were crying about on Facebook, super annoying, but they're crying about them based on the current stratagems or forgetting the fact that these apply to vehicles as well. And that, the stratagems are likely going to change. So bear that in mind when judging if these are good or not. I think the new plan of Space Marines getting these supplement books is amazing. I think it's such a good idea. I know it's a bit of a little, cash grab money thing, but you're going to buy the Space Marine Codex, and then you're going to buy basically your chapter codex, which really could mean great things, because that could give you access to your very own warlord traits, your very own relics, your very own stratagems, and then of course like special characters and things. But the big thing is, if you're familiar with 8th edition 40k, relics, warlord traits, and stratagems are kind of how you build your whole army. A lot of like competitive players might build around something just currently being undercosted for points versus damage output, of course. But if you have an idea or a theme or a combo you like, it's always around warlord traits, relics, and stratagems. So let's jump into this real quick and just go over a few of these. And let me know what you guys think below. If you're getting any value out of my videos, please hit the like button. Crimson Fists are getting +1 to hit if they attack a unit with 5 or more models. And vehicles count as 5 models. So you get +1 to hit all vehicles, which is pretty darn good. Like, just pretty good, right? All your tanks, all your devastators, all your heavy weapons, +1 to hit. That means overcharging Hellblasters no longer can die if they're shooting a vehicle. That is insane. Not like Hellblasters are super valuable normally because they're a little squishy and they're very expensive, but being unable to die because you have +1 to hit is insane. And then also an unmodified hit roll of a 6 scores an additional hit with a bolt weapon, which of course increasing the damage of your bolters, always awesome. This one seems very strong. Think we could see some Crimson Fists coming out, and this of course all depends on warlord traits, relics, and stratagems. But that one's very powerful, +1 hit vehicles. I think you're gonna like that. Let's go down to the next one here. They showed an update of the Stalker bolt rifle going to strength 4, AP 2 flat damage. Pretty sweet. This one, if you're scoring extra hits, you could do 4 damage, it's saying, from a single model with a bolt gun. Also, the Deathwatch getting this new version of the bolt gun could be, I believe, an AP3 2 damage bolt gun. Pretty sweet. And bolter drill, unfortunately for the Deathwatch, they lost bolter drill and special ammunition combo, but I believe with bolter drill you can double fire this Stalker bolt rifle. So actually you would be able to get 8 damage, I believe, from a single model, unless I'm remembering that incorrectly. Black Templars, when a charge roll is made, you can reroll 1 or all of the dice. This is a huge buff. This is what things like Orcs got for their reroll charges. A lot of these armies that have assault capabilities, they don't really quite give them enough to be reliable to get into assault. So all their special rules rely on being an assault, and they have nothing to get them there. Armies that suffer from this are like some of the Tyranid, Hive fleets, a lot of the demons, things like that. But this one's pretty powerful. And then they get a 5-up Feel No Pain against mortal wounds. So if you have some models running forward. You know, maybe you can absorb a smite or two. But another big thing is this one, you're re-rolling any or all dice on the charge. You know, deep striking dreadnoughts, maybe a melee dreadnought might make a turn. I don't know. This one's kind of cool. Not my style necessarily. The Imperial Fist, my buddy has a really nice Imperial Fist army, so I get to play against these guys quite a bit. And when I play my AdMech, I always think their ability to ignore cover is pretty strong because I have an ability to put my army in cover. So it works out in that sort of matchup, I guess, against Tyranids who can be in cover all the time. Pretty cool. But now, when they resolve a ranged weapon, they do not get the benefit of cover, and unmodified hit rolls of 6 score an additional hit. Now, this is pretty... Oh, that's also with the bolt weapon. So ignore cover, and I missed that bolt weapon part. Extra hit on a 6. Pretty cool. Not too shabby. Getting extra damage output from the bolters, I think, is a big part of making Space Marines more valuable. But also, if we could make them tougher or potentially cheaper, but you don't want to go too cheap because eventually you'll hit, you know, they'll be too cheap and ruin the game. Ultramarines stayed the same. That's how good their chapter tactic was, so no need to worry about them. Fall back and shoot, still going to be very popular. And on a side note too, Space Marines are now getting, in Chaos as well, +1 attack if they charge, get charged, or heroically intervene. So all the melee capabilities of any of the Space Marines goes way up. Not to mention the things that are more assault oriented, getting an extra attack, of course, is going to be powerful. Maybe we'll see some Reavers, depending on... Hopefully they get their rules changed to actually make sense. But we're going to go down here to the White Scars. These guys... I'm basically looking at this from a Primaris point of view. To me, all the old Space Marines are null and void and completely pointless to purchase at this point in time. Unless you have them already, I would not really be building or buying old Space Marines that are non-Primaris, even though they'll probably be around for years. But part of me just says it's not worth it because you know they're probably going away. So these guys, units can charge when they run or fall back, which is cool, right? If you're building an assault Space Marine army. Plus with the new contrast paints, they look pretty sweet. People are knocking out some pretty cool White Scars. They always look really great. Even the biker army looks really great. And the bikers here get do not suffer penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons or advancing and firing assault weapons. Not very cool at all. Bikes have twin-linked rapid-fire heavy bolters, not assault weapons. So, okay. And heavy weapons, the only bikes that have that are the little attack bikes, which, whatever, right? They're basically never seen. So, we'll see what they get. Maybe there'll be some changes to those units. Or this is in advance of new Primaris bikes, which I think are very likely coming out. And maybe those new Primaris bikes are going to be jacked up full of assault weapons and heavy weapons. I could see that. Raven Guard. Whole army in cover when you're 12 away, which is awesome. Also adds value to units and armies that can ignore cover, which is amazing. And then if you're in cover, you also get -1 to being hit. Now, if that unit is not a vehicle, you can get the -1 to being hit because you're crouching down, you're hiding, you're sneaky. This is such a good sign for 40k. This should be its own video. Removing this nonsense minus to hit stuff in the game, or greatly reducing it, is going to make the game so much better and clean up a lot of the problems that you'll see that kind of ruin a lot of competitive events. So super awesome, reducing the minuses to hit, and I still firmly believe they should just cap the negative to hit modifier at 1. Whether you technically have a -1, 2, 3, or 4, a model should never be able to suffer more than a -1 to hit, which I think then you would actually see people run and shoot assault weapons more, because if they were already -1 to hit shooting at something, then they could run and shoot at the same -1. So that would be pretty cool. We got here the Salamanders, which pretty legit here. You got reroll a single hit and wound roll, and this is and wound roll, which is awesome if Primaris units get special weapons in their units, which hopefully they do in this book, because I know they're still trying to probably sell Devastator squads or old tactical squads because they probably have millions of them sitting around. But we need the Primaris to actually start getting their new heavy weapons in their units and special weapons. Like, I really am excited to see that. And hopefully this book will be when that happens. And we'll see, although they have not mentioned it at all or previewed any models of it, so it's probably not going to happen. But we'll see. And then when resolving an attack made with a weapon, you change AP1 to AP0. They basically are getting 2 free command points per unit per shooting phase and per Overwatch. And they get the Lucius Forge World stratagem from the AdMech book, which is ignore AP1. Also awesome on their vehicles because, you know, a lot of times people will just take pot shots with AP1 guns like autocannons at a vehicle. Adds a big bonus to you. And back to the Raven Guard too. Now you have 1+ save Land Raiders and 2+ save Repulsors, which even though they don't have invulns is pretty sweet. So jumping down here, Iron Hands. This one's crazy. They put like Yandin, Ulthway, and I can't remember, like, there's one more basically chapter tactic of another army. This one has like 3 of them stacked up from other codexes. When a model takes a wound on a 6, you ignore the wound. Okay, so that could be like Graia or something from AdMech. When resolving Overwatch, you hit on a 5. That could be Agranapa or whatever the heck it's called from AdMech. And double the remaining wounds for purposes of the damage table on vehicles, which I believe is Valhallan in the iGuard's special rule. Pretty freaking good. I think these guys could make a comeback because that's a lot of stacking of pretty cool abilities. 6-up feel no pain type save. Always, you know, not too shabby. Overwatch on a 5 and 6 if you're kind of a gun line or you don't want to be charged too much. Also, like a repulsor tank, you're already at -2 to charge it. It has a ton of guns, and now it's hitting on 5s and 6s. I mean, to hit on 5s and 6s, I believe, is even a stratagem in the iGuard Codex. So, definitely, I think we're going to see some Iron Hands floating around. And I believe that's it. So, hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this video. We will be talking about Space Marines. I'll probably be picking up the book and selling my Deathwatch Codex. I have a Primaris only army, and a Primaris Deathwatch army does not appeal to me anymore because they took away the special ammo combo with the bolter drill. I wasn't abusing the storm bolter spam, but it did make them seem a little better for the points I was paying. And now, I don't know. I mean, I might wait a little bit, but the reason I painted my Space Marine army, and I might make a video about this, I painted my Space Marine army kind of a dark gray with like a maroon tone. So it's kind of my own scheme. And this was to safeguard myself for the future. The future being now if I want to play, you know, gray Scars or Raven Guard or Ash Salamanders or, you know, dull Ultramarines or whatever it is, right? Iron Hands. Actually, all my Primaris guys do have a silver arm. Now I can pick up any of those supplements, whatever one I see fit for my playstyle, or maybe I like a combo in one of them, or a new special character that comes out, and I am safeguarded to pick up all future Space Marine products that are Primaris and Space Marine Codexes and just mix and match as the time goes on. Now, I'm on the fence about getting rid of my Primaris army in general because I haven't had terribly too much fun with it, and I have a ton of stuff for it that I still need to build and paint, and it's kind of wearing me down thinking about it. But with this new book, maybe I'll breathe some life into it, even though I am currently working on my Slanesh army. Hopefully you want to see more and give me a sub, and I'll talk to you soon.